I overheard my boyfriend say that he chose the wrong girl. For context, me and my boyfriend have been together for in total 8 years. We met between mutual friends while I was still in school and he had just moved to my town to go to college. We were friends for 2 years before we started dating. The reason for this was because 1. I was too scared to make a move, and secondly, he was in love with one of our mutual friends. After she got a boyfriend, he moved on to liking me and we have been dating ever since. Last Saturday was his birthday and he told me he has never been thrown a surprise birthday party and would like to experience one. I worked all week before Saturday, his birthday, planning and inviting people, getting reservations, buying a cake, etc. I asked his best friend to hang out with him for most of the day so that I could set up and get everyone to get here and hide for the surprise. The birthday party was a success, and he was smiling the whole time. He had snuck off with his best friend somewhere, and I wanted to find him so that we could sing happy birthday and cut the cake. As I was walking down the hallway, I heard him and his friend talking, so I kept walking towards their voices. I heard him tell his friend that he should have kept trying with our mutual friend. He told him that he should have been the man that was engaged to her, and not her now fiancé. He said that he hated waking up to me and that he wished that our mutual friend was the one that threw him his first surprise party. He said that he felt disgusted every time he had to kiss me or hold me because he knew that our mutual friend should be in his arms instead. He said that he felt like he was stuck in our relationship and that he would end up having to marry me. He said that our mutual friend was better than me in looks from head to toe. He said that she was the most gorgeous girl I've ever seen. I went back to the party and told everyone that I couldn't find him and that we would have to wait for him to come back. When he came back, he gave me a hug and a kiss on the head and told me he loved me. I didn't want to ruin his party, so I went along with it. He doesn't know that I know he doesn't honestly love me. I've just been going along with everything. I honestly don't want to break up with him. I just want to know how I can make him fall in love with me. I don't know what I did to make him feel so unhappy, so I would like to know, how do I make my boyfriend fall in love with me? Or should I just give up on our relationship? He is the first boyfriend I've ever had, and I'm scared to start dating again at my age. I slept with another girl when I was drunk and I am straight. What should I even tell her? My friend and I hung out last night, had dinner, etc. We had a little too much to drink and I decided to crash at her place afterwards. I don't remember too much, but I think I remember her telling me that she has feelings for me, and me just laughing and calling her silly. She's lesbian, but I'm straight. She knows I am not into girls. She kept giving me pecks on the cheek, and I found it hilarious because I thought she was joking. Then I think she kissed me on the neck, and for reasons I can't explain, I just went with the flow. I guess I was too drunk and too afraid of hurting her feelings. We've been friends since college. Then I don't remember much. I think I blacked out. I woke up in the morning, no clothes next to her. Now I am confused, kind of upset at her, upset at myself that this happened. I don't find my friend attractive and I never thought of her that way. I've never even kissed a girl before, let alone have snuggling with one. Like WTF? How should I even approach her about this? I just wanted to clarify things on what I mean by going with the flow. Some people are saying that she raped me and some are messaging me saying that I instigated it by letting her kiss me and that I am secretly a lesbian. I let her kiss me because I didn't want her to become upset if I pushed her away. And honestly, I was just too sleepy and disoriented from drinking. This is the reason why I passed out shortly after while she's kissing me. I do recall taking my clothes off, because I would never do that in front of her. And I certainly don't remember having snuggles, but I woke up naked next to her, who was also with no clothes. I guess what makes this a gray zone is the fact that I let her kiss me, and giving her a false impression that I was okay with it, but I didn't want to have snuggles with her.
It has been 7 months since we learned that my wife can't have kids. I am seriously considering a divorce. Title may seem harsh, so I apologize, also using a throwaway. Because my friends know my real account, bit of background info about my wife. She's an only child and had a rather lonely childhood, so to her having kids and watching them grow up together is an important issue for her. If not the single most important issue. To make a long story short, 7 months ago, we learned that my wife is incapable of having children. Of course, both of us were devastated, and she ended up leaving her job. For the first month after learning this terrible news, all she did was cry. and watch Netflix in bed. I brought her meals in bed, started working from home, and gave her my full support because it was the least I could do. But now it's 7 months later and she's still crying. I'm watching Netflix in bed all day. I ask her every day if she needs anything, but all I get in response is variations on either leave me alone or some peace and quiet. Virtually the only time she gets out of bed are when she fixes herself some snacks, uses the bathroom, or takes a shower. I do all the cooking, cleaning, and laundry. I've suggested many things to help her recover, including but not limited to 1. Therapy. She said that all therapists BS back at you, to adoption or using a surrogate. She shot down both, saying that it just didn't feel right to her. 3. Moving to her parents' city. She said moving 100 miles was too much stress for buying a corgi puppy. Corgis are her favorite. She snapped at me, saying that a puppy is no substitute for a real human child. 5. Taking her on a week-long trip to anywhere she chooses again. She said that's too much stress. Earlier tonight I had a talk with my wife. I told her that our relationship is just not sustainable if she continues to act this way, and that she needs help. She said that she's fine and called me an asshole for suggesting that she get help. Don't get me wrong, I love my wife with all my heart. I'm doing my best to help her, but she's refusing that help and in total denial. I know that she'll be devastated if we get a divorce. But honestly, I cannot bear living like this for much longer. What do or can I do? Update. Hi all. First off, I want to apologize for not responding to every single post, reply or PM. I am genuinely touched by the sheer amount of support I received, and I spent quite a few hours crying my eyes out as I read your messages and well wishes. The night after I wrote my original post, I wrote my wife a short letter, thank you, witchy_woman 420 for the idea, that went something like this: dear wife's name, I love you more than you can imagine, and the most I want in this world is for you to be happy. I understand that as a man, I probably have no idea how intense the pain that you are feeling is in doing my best to help you, but the fact that you won't help yourself is taking a toll on our marriage. I honestly cannot continue living like this for much longer, and our marriage is in jeopardy if you don't make an effort to get better. However, I want to get over this bump together and start working in the right direction together. I'm ready to talk whenever you are. With all my love, my name. I put the letter on top of her laptop and went to bed. The next morning, March 16th, I woke up a bit earlier than usual to fix her a double helping of her favorite breakfast: blueberry pancakes, bacon scrambled eggs and fresh squeezed OJ. When I walked into the bedroom with her food, I saw her reading my letter. When she saw me, she put the letter down, got out of bed, threw herself into my arms, and started crying, full on Niagara Falls level crying. I hugged her tighter, told her I love you so much, and started crying too. I honestly don't know how long we stood there hugging each other and crying. It could have been 10 minutes, it could have been an hour, I didn't care. When she stopped crying, she promised me that she would go to therapy. Reddit, you guys don't know how thrilled and proud I was when I heard those words. She then asked me if we could go on a trip to Japan, because in her words, I really need to leave this fucking house for once and get some fresh air. I was so fucking proud of her when she took the initiative in planning our trip. She's always been a methodical, organized person, and as she booked the flights and hotels, I saw in her eyes the same spark that made me fall in love with her. 8 years ago, we just finished packing for the trip, and she fell asleep with the faintest of smiles on her face not so long ago. We have a 5 a.m. Uber to catch a trip to enjoy, and both therapy and dog shopping sessions lined up when we return. We're not quite out of the tunnel yet, but we can see the light at the end. I'm going to bed. Thank you to everyone who followed my story and offered their well wishes.
I've lost weight and now I want to divorce my husband. We've been married for 5 years and together for 7 years. We also have a 3-year-old kid. After having the baby, I struggled a lot with losing the baby weight and adjusting to being a parent. I also had the baby blues at first, which was tough. I wasn't really focused on my appearance, and instead I was trying to figure out our new routine and way of life. But then my husband started making these little comments about my body and how I should start working out and wearing makeup again. It made me feel really awful, and I worried that he might start looking elsewhere because we weren't being intimate anymore. He even suggested hiring a nanny so I could have more time for myself, but I wanted to be there for our baby full time. So I turned down the offer. That made him angry and he started acting cold towards me. Months went by without any hugs, kisses, romance, or any kind of affection. My self-esteem hit rock bottom. Every time I looked in the mirror, all I saw were the flaws that my husband pointed out. By this point, our son was already 2 years old, and I desperately wanted to win my husband back. I thought that if I got in shape again, he would show me love and affection and our marriage would be saved. I craved his attention so much, and it hurt to see how much things had changed. But you can't force someone to be affectionate. I took matters into my own hands and hired some help. With more free time, I started going to the gym, taking swimming classes, which are amazing for your back, by the way, getting my hair and lashes done regularly and eating healthier. And guess what? I've lost a ton of weight and I feel amazing. Suddenly, my husband started touching me, kissing me, buying me flowers, and treating me like the complete opposite of how he treated me before. Yeah, I'd think that would make me feel better, but for some reason, it made me feel worse. All I could think about were the hurtful things he said to me when I was at my lowest, and how cold he was towards me. I get that you can't force attraction, but why couldn't he just hug me or give me a kiss on the cheek, even when I was overweight? Why couldn't he love me as a human being and the mother of his child? When my self-esteem came back, I got really angry at myself for putting up with his behavior for so long. A few days ago, I told him I wanted a divorce because I don't think I can move past how badly he treated me. He apologized and promised to change and prove that he can be better. But honestly, I'm not sure if I can trust him again. What if I gain weight again or have to deal with health issues? Will he treat me like garbage again? I've talked to some friends and family about the whole situation, and some say I should give him another chance while others say I should leave him. So I'm turning to Reddit for some advice. Am I justified in being upset over this? Do you think it's possible for my husband to change his behavior for the long term? Or is a divorce the right move here? Update. Thanks a lot for all the advice you gave me after my last post. It was really tough to make a decision, especially considering our son. So I sat down with my husband and had a conversation about what happened. He kept saying sorry, but I asked him if he actually understood why his behavior was hurtful. He just kept saying he was being a jerk, but I felt like he didn't really grasp why it was a problem. So I broke it down for him. I told him that saying I still look pregnant 3 months after giving birth, or calling me a mess because of my dark circles, rolling his eyes when I wanted to show affection, not talking to me for days without any reason, and not wanting to spend time together were all really hurtful. And on top of that, he didn't offer the help so I could take care of my mental health. Instead, he wanted me to go to the gym and get in shape. When I reminded him of all this, he couldn't even look me in the eye and didn't say a word. The silence in the room was so thick you could cut it with a knife. I just don't think he fully understands how badly he treated me. No amount of extra weight can justify that kind of behavior. I wouldn't treat a stranger like that, let alone someone I love. But for the sake of our son, I still offered him couples counseling. And guess what? He refused. He said he was afraid that the therapist and I would team up against him and make things worse. We went round and round in circles, and after almost 3 hours of talking, I finally had enough and told him I wanted a divorce. He tried to convince me that he could prove he can change, but when I asked him how, he just said I had to have faith in him and see it for myself down the line. That's just not good enough for me. I told him I was taking our son to my mom's place for the weekend and that we would discuss everything before finalizing the divorce on Monday. He said okay and we left. But now he won't stop blowing up my phone, begging for a second chance and telling me how much he loves me and how he made a mistake. It's really disheartening to see how much he changed after we had our son. All I ever wanted from him was love, loyalty, and respect. But he didn't give me any of that in the past few years. I still wanted to give him a chance, but he doesn't want to put in the work to make things better. If it comes to that, I'll be able to raise our son on my own as I'm financially independent and secure. I also have a lot of help, so it'll be okay. I still want him to be a part of our son's life and be the best daddy he can be. But I can't be with someone who doesn't love or respect me. I wanted to thank you again for all your support and the advice you gave me. I thought my husband was the person I would grow old with, but the universe has other plans for me. It will be really hard to let him go, but I'm hoping it's for the better.